There has been an attack on a shield facility and it has been linked to an underground weapons network. Our investigations reveals that the criminal enterprise is operated by the villainous Ulysses Klaw, who orchestrates the smuggling of illegal Wakandan technology. The humming of high-frequency sonic energy echoes through the Dark City docks as we are swinging into the heart of a sound-based nightmare. We must balance our life as the young Peter Parker with our heavy responsibilities as Spider-Man to prevent this arms dealer from destabilizing the city. This is a teaching playthrough, so by the time we finish, you will know everything you need to know to start playing. Welcome to the board game cabin. My name is Eric. I went ahead and prepared the setup, and the goal of this game is to defeat the villain by getting its HP down to 0. On standard difficulty, we have to defeat the villain stage 1 and a villain stage 2 card. The way we lose is if our HP goes down to 0, or the villain successfully fill the last main scheme with a certain amount of threat indicated by these yellow threat markers. But before we jump into the action, we need to get our table ready. And this video is aimed for you to get playing as quickly as you can, so I will explain the steps you need to know and skip some detailed bits for you to discover later. And I will tell you how to discover it in the end of the video. I will explain deck building in the end of the video as well if you're interested how that works. We have chosen Spider-Man as our hero, and so we set his identity card to the alter ego side, as you can see down here on the picture. On the other side, it's the hero Spider-Man. We're playing the Spider-Man starter deck, so if you want to follow along, it's the same as in the core box, and also Klaw is a villain from the core box as well. We set aside the 5 Nemesis cards that are special for Spider-Man, and also 1 obligation card. And all of these cards have a yellow back, like the encounter deck over here. And the rest of the cards for Spider-Man has a blue back, except for his identity card. Our starting hit points is 10, as you can find down here on your identity card. You want to place all the tokens and status card close by, as I have. And Klaw is the villain we are playing against today on a standard difficulty, and we're using his stage 1 card to begin with, which gives him 12 hit points. And you can find the hit points down here. It says 12, and there's a little icon there that means per player. We're playing solo today, so it's 12 times 1. We place his first main scheme, underground distribution, up here. And you start by looking at the 1A side. There you can find the content of Klaw's deck and what modular set the game recommends you to play with. The really cool thing with this game is that you can change that modular set to be any set you like. To build the encounter deck, we shuffle the remaining Klaw cards together with the 7 standard set cards and the 7 Master of Evil modular set. We also shuffle Spider-Man's personal obligation eviction notice that we set aside earlier into the deck. And this main scheme also have a setup. It says, setup. Search the encounter deck for the defense network side scheme. Reveal it, shuffle the encounter deck, advance to stage 1. I already done that, so I found the defense network from the encounter deck, and then I have to add threat equal to this number here. So 2 threat, and then it has a when revealed text here that we have to resolve as well. And it says, place 1 additional threat here per player. And we are playing 1, so there's 3 threat there. I will explain this icon later. Then we flip the main scheme to, you see here, it's 1A side you start with. Now we flip it to the 1B side. The number down here is how much threat this main scheme starts with. In this instance, it's 0. The number above I will explain shortly. Your investigation reveals that the criminal enterprise is operated by Klaw, an old rival of the Avengers. And then we resolve its when revealed effect. Discard cards from the encounter deck until a minion is discarded. Put that minion into play, engaged with the first player. So we discard cards from the deck until we reach a minion. This is another side scheme. This is an attachment. Oops. And that is a minion. So we put him into play, engaged with us. And there's one very important rule that is easy to get wrong as a beginner. And that is the word put into play and when revealed. So when we put a card into play, it is not counted as revealed. So if this card would have had any when revealed text on it, it wouldn't resolve. This one has an ability called Surge that says, after this card is revealed, reveal one additional encounter card. This card wasn't revealed, it was put into play, so we won't reveal another encounter card. I know it doesn't make much sense right now, but I will explain everything as we go. If we had a when revealed effect on the villain as well, we would have resolved this now. Klaw doesn't have one, so we just skip that phase. And then you shuffle your deck and draw 6 cards as your starting hand. And you draw equal to your hand size, which you can find down here on your identity card. This bottom row here will represent my hand, so you can follow along and see the decisions that I make during the game. We have one mulligan where we can throw away how many cards we want and then draw that many cards from the top of our deck. And I won't go in too much into card details now. I'll explain the cards later when I play them. But I think I will throw these 2 away into my discard pile over here. And then we draw 2 new cards. If we have any player setup on our card, we will resolve these now. But Spider-Man doesn't have any setup, so we just skip this phase. In this game, we play through a series of rounds. And each round begins with our player phase, where we take turns, playing cards, attacking, and so forth. And then it's followed by the villain phase, where Klaw will strike back. And that whole thing is 1 round. I will display the steps of each round up here for the first few turns, so you easily can follow along. Okay, let's start our first round with the player phase. So, as I said, here we can play cards, attack, thwart schemes, and do actions. To pay for a card, we must discard other cards from our hand to match the resource cost listed up here in the top left corner. All cards also have a small icon in the bottom left, and these are resources that you can use to pay for other cards. Most cards have 1 resource, but some cards, I believe it's 3 in our deck, has 2 resources on it. So we didn't get the best starting hand, but I think we will play this Avengers Mansion. And you see it has a cost of 4, so we need to throw away 4 other cards to pay for it. I will throw away this card, that card, this one. So you see down here, 1, 2, 3, 4. We have now paid for our Avengers Mansion. and putting these into the discard pile. Support cards like Avengers Mansion will stay in play and we can use it every turn. Avengers Mansion says max 1 per player. Action: exhaust Avengers Mansion. Arrow: choose 1 player. That player draws a card. The text that appears before the arrow is the cost required to trigger the ability after the little arrow. So I want to exhaust the Avengers Mansion here. I use these tokens to signal that it is exhausted. These do not come with the game, so if you don't have anything else that you can use, you can simply tap the card 90 degrees like this to signal that you have used it this turn or phase. So we exhausted it. This was an action. Exhaust this to draw 1 card. So we just draw a card. Now I really want to play this heroic intuition upgrade. We only have 1 other resource in hand, and this one costs 2. Luckily, our scientist ability on our identity lets us generate 1 science resource for free once every turn. And it says scientist resource, generate a mental resource, limit once per round. So we'll spend that one. We don't have to exhaust him. It would have said exhaust. And we spend this one. So we have paid 2 to play this heroic intuition card. And it says play under any player's control, max 1 per player. Your hero gets +1 THW. And THW is short for Thwart. And that is the way that Spider-Man here, with this blue ability, will remove threat from the side schemes and the main schemes. Now we're all out of cards to play, but our turn isn't over yet. If we had lost any life, we could have used this yellow recovery value to exhaust Peter Parker to heal 3 life. We are at maximum HP, so we can't do that now. Once per round, we can flip our identity card. So we will flip Peter Parker to his hero side. There is cards and abilities that can let us do the flip more times, but we can only do it once for free every round. So we could never freely go from alter ego Spider-Man and then alter ego again. And here on Spider-Man we can see 3 different numbers on the top left. The blue one is the one I just talked about. This is how much threat would be removed from a scheme if we thwarted it. And it's 1 here. Now it's boosted by our heroic intuition, so we actually have 2 thwart value. The second one, the red one, is our attack value. This tells us how much damage one of our basic attacks does. So we would do 2 damage. We also have the defend value here, which is the green one. When we get attacked from the villain or a minion, we can use this to block incoming damage by exhausting Spider-Man. And the other 2, we also need to exhaust Spider-Man to use, of course. Now that we are in hero form, we have the choice of either thwarting the scheme here. This icon here is a crisis icon, and it says that we have to thwart this one before we can thwart the main scheme. Now there's no threat on the main scheme, but just so you know what this icon means. But I think I will use Spider-Man's attack, basic attack, exhaust Spider-Man to attack this weapons runner. And I haven't explained minions yet. The minions also have an attack value and a scheme value, and I will explain how that works. But the important thing now is this health value here. It has 2 HP. We do 2 damage from our attack, putting on 1, 2. And when this damage is equal to the amount of HP, they are defeated. Put into the discard pile. Now we go into the end of the player phase. First, we can discard any cards we don't want. So if we had cards here that we don't want to play, we can discard it to the discard pile. And then we draw back to our hand size. And now when we are in hero form, the hand size have changed from 6 to 5. So we only draw up to 5 cards. 3, 4, 5. And the last thing we do is to ready all our cards, removing these exhausted icons. And that is the end of the player phase. Now we go into the villain phase. The first step of the villain phase is placing threat on the main scheme equal to this number here. So we put 1 threat there, and it says +1 per player. We are 1 player. If this scheme reaches 6 total threat, Klaw advances his plans to distribute these illegal weapons, and we move closer to losing. The next step of the villain phase is that Klaw activates against us. If we would have stayed in alter ego form, Klaw would have schemed and added more threat to the main scheme. Since we ended our turn in hero form, Klaw will attack us. Unlike other villains, Klaw has 0 attack with his little star, and this star tells us to look down here, and it says Forced Interrupt. When Klaw attacks, give him 1 additional boost card for this activation. Normally a villain that attack only gets 1 face down boost card, like this, but Klaw gets 2. Before we resolve this attack will also trigger our Spider Sense ability on our hero card. It says Spider Sense Interrupt. When the villain initiates an attack against you, draw 1 card. So initiates an attack is in the beginning when he says hello, I'm going to attack you. Then we interrupt that attack with our Spider Sense drawing our 1 card. I know this is a little confusing, but it's really important to understand. There's interrupts and there is responses. Generally speaking, interrupts happen before the thing that is about to happen, in this case the attack, and responses happens after the thing. Then we must declare defenders. We can exhaust Spider-Man to negate 3 of the incoming damage. If we do, we can't ready Spider-Man until the end of our next player phase. I think we will not defend and just take this hit. So we reveal the boost cards and look at these icons down here. So we start with the star. The star tells us to read a little text on the card, and it's the text beside the star. It says boost, deal 1 damage to each hero. So we will take 1 damage on our hero, not with these, but by reducing that. And then these boost icons boosts the attack of 0 plus 2. So the star doesn't count to the total attack, but only these little stars do. So we get a total of 2 extra damage from the attack, going down to 7 lives. 7 HP. And now we go into the deal encounter card step. So we get dealt 1 encounter card. This can change, but in the beginning it's just 1. Then we go into the reveal encounter card step and resolve our dealt encounter cards. And now we would do any when revealed text on it. This is a minion, so it will come in engaged with us. It's an armored guard. It has a guard ability. While this minion is engaged with us, you cannot attack the villain. It also have toughness. This character enters play with a tough status card. So it will enter play with this tough status card. And the tough status card says the next time this character would take any damage, discard this status card instead. So it works as a shield. If we do 5 damage or 1 damage, this one just gets discarded. And that is the end of the villain phase, and that concludes also the first round. Okay, let's see what we got here. I think we start our second round with exhausting Avengers Mansion to draw 1 more card. These web shooters are really good to generate resources for us. So I will pay 1 resource to pay for this web shooter. And the web shooter says uses 3 web counters. Enters play with 3 counters. When those are gone, discard this card. It's a hero resource, meaning we can only use this when in hero form. Exhaust web shooter and remove 1 web counter from it. Generate a wild resource. A wild resource is any of the 3 types of resources. So we have physical, energy, and mental resources. I will put 3 web counters on it. Now we can exhaust this to use it as a resource. I will actually exhaust this to pay for another web shooter. Some cards have a little star like this beside Spider-Man. That means that you can only have 1. They are unique. You can only have 1 of them. And the other card says max 1 per player, like these 2 does. But we can have any amount of web shooters. Of course, there's a maximum of 3 cards of each to have in the deck. So now we have another web shooter. Oops. No, we haven't used that yet, but I will use it immediately to pay for this interrogation room. It says we paid with the web shooter, and it says max 1 per player. Response: after you defeat the minion, exhaust interrogation room, arrow, remove 1 threat from the scheme. So if we would defeat this minion, we could exhaust it and remove 1 of these threats. And now we have 3 resources left, and I want to play this Mockingbird here, which is an ally. It costs 3. And this, as you see here, is our first double resource. It says max 1 per player. It will generate 2 energy resources. So a total of 3, paying for Mockingbird. Mockingbird is an ally, and as Spider-Man, it has a thwart value and an attack value. We could exhaust it like this to remove 1 threat from a scheme. And we could also exhaust it to attack 1 minion or the villain. Now, in this case, we have an armored guard, which has the guard ability, so we need to attack this one if we want to attack. Under these values, there's a little smash symbol, and this is very important. This means how much consequential damage the ally takes when attacking or thwarting. This is like when we attack, how much would this armored guard deal back to us. And as on the minions down here, you can see how much HP the Mockingbird has. I think we will exhaust the Mockingbird here. I forgot the response as well. Response: after Mockingbird enters play, stun an enemy. So we will stun Klaw here. And I will explain stun when it happens. So I will use Mockingbird to deal 1 damage to Armored Guard. And instead of putting this damage here, we would remove this tough. Remember, the next time this character would take any amount of damage, discard this card instead. So that goes there. But the Mockingbird takes 1 consequential damage for attacking, indicated by the little smash symbol. Okay. We still have Spider-Man here, and I think we will exhaust Spider-Man to deal 2 damage to the Armored Guard here. And now we could flip to Alter Ego, making Klaw a scheme instead of attacking us. But now, because this stunned that I will explain shortly, I think we will stay in hero form for now. We could discard cards if we had any, but we don't, so we draw up to 5 cards. That's a lot of good cards. And now we remove all the exhaust tokens from our cards. And then we go into the villain phase, starting with placing threat on the main scheme, equal to this value, +1 here. Then Klaw will activate against us because we are in hero form. He will attack us, not scheme. And this stun says the next time this character would attack, discard this status card instead. So instead of him attacking, we remove this one. The Armored Guard attacks after first the villain attacks, then the minions will attack. So we have an Armored Guard with 1 attack incoming here. We could just take the damage. We could defend. We could also defend with an ally, exhausting it and taking the amount of damage. This one would go down to 2 to 1 life, but I think we'll just take the damage here, go down to 6. And minions don't get boost cards as the villains do. Some does, but not in this encounter. And now in the end we go into the deal encounter cards, and then the last one is reveal encounter cards. We'll simply flip this and it says attachment over here. Attach, it's a sonic converter. Attached to Klaw. After Klaw attacks and damages a character, stun that character. And that is this thing we did with Klaw, he can do to us now. Also see down here, it has +1 attack. So we will attach this card to Klaw, like this. And now we have to remember that he will stun us every time he attacks us. Okay, that was the end of the second round. So we go into round 3. We're starting to get low life here, so it would be nice to go into alter ego form to heal. We have some really powerful cards. I think we will start by exhausting Avengers Mansion to draw a card here. Oh, interesting. Spider Tracer. I will actually exhaust this web shooter to generate 1 resource to pay for this Spider Tracer. It says attached to a minion, forced interrupt. When attached minion is defeated, remove 3 threat from the scheme. And the difference between forced interrupt and just interrupt is forced is mandatory, while the other interrupts you have a choice to resolve them or not. So if we deal 1 damage to this Armored Guard now, we can remove 3 threat from a scheme. And then we will use Mockingbird here to deal our last point of damage to the Armored Guard. So we take 1 consequential damage, and this armored guard is defeated. Remember, he had a guard ability, so he couldn't attack Klaw. And then we resolve this. When attached minion is defeated, remove 3 threat from a scheme. This actually happens before we take the consequential damage, but that doesn't matter now. So we remove 3 threat from a scheme, and we have to remove threat from this one because of this crisis symbol. This crisis symbol makes it that we need to remove threat from this one before we go to the main scheme. Now I will exhaust. I will play this webbed up card, which is really strong. Exhaust this to remove 1 counter here to get the resource. Then I'll pay these 3 cards. So we're up to 4. And webbed up says hero form only. Attach to an enemy, max 1 per enemy. Forced interrupt. When attached enemy would attack, discard webbed up instead, then stun the enemy. So he is really webbed up now. So we attach this to Klaw. I still have this swinging web kick that I think I will save. One thing that we forgot was this interrogation room. When we defeated the guard, we could have exhausted this to remove a threat from a scheme. I forgot that, so I will be hard on myself. Not going back. We still could use Spider-Man to scheme or attack, or we could flip to alter ego form and recover. And I think I will do that just to explain to you how it works. Remember, once per phase we can flip our identity from hero to alter ego, or from alter ego to hero. And now I will use this recovery value. I will exhaust Peter Parker to recover 3 life to our total HP here of 10. But we go to 9, and I think that is everything we can do this turn. So we could discard this swinging web kick, but it's a really strong attack, dealing 8 damage to an enemy. I will save that, and I will draw up to my hand size of 6 cards now. 4, 5, 6. And then we remove these exhaust tokens. Oops. And now it's the villain's turn, and this will probably bite us, really. It was not a good thing, because now when we're in alter ego, Klaw will scheme. He's webbed up, but he can still take out his phone and scheme. So he will do he will scheme on this. So instead of the attack value, we check this number 2 here. He will get 1 boost card. Remember, on his card here it said when Klaw attacks, give him 1 additional boost card. When Klaw attacks, give him 1 additional boost card for this activation. It doesn't says when Klaw schemes. So it's only 1 boost card. And let's reveal how much it is. Oh, we were lucky. So it says this is a star. It says boost, exhaust each ally you control. And allies, you can see up here, are these friends that you have up here. Our identity card is not an ally, it's a hero card. So we were lucky. The scheme only got a total of 2 plus 0. So we have 5 total of threat here. If we would have 6, it would have been resolved. He would have managed to scheme this, and we have to flip it. So put this over here. And if you thinking about why the webbed up doesn't work, it's also only on attacks. So now we go into the deal encounter card step. We deal an encounter card, and then we reveal the encounter card. Oh no! Oh yes, I thought he would scheme again. It says, when revealed in alter ego form, this card gains Surge. And Surge is just discarding this card to reveal another encounter card. If we would have been in hero form, the villain would have attacked us. So this card gains Surge, so we just draw one more. And it's Sound Manipulation. It's a treachery card. When revealed in alter ego, Klaw heals 4 damage. If no damage was healed this way, this card gains Surge. So he wasn't healed anything because he is at his maximum health of 12. So if we were in hero form, we would take 2 damage and Klaw would heal. So this one also gains Surge. Let's see what happens here. No, that was exactly the one I didn't want to happen. It's an advance. It says, when revealed, the villain schemes. So the villain will scheme again, as he just did here. So we have 2, we have 1 boost card, and 1 extra boost icon. He will scheme 3 total threat on this underground, reaching 6, going up to 8. And then we just remove these and advance to the next stage here on the main scheme. Klaw has found a buyer for his illegal weapons. It's up to you to stop the sale, but the meeting is surrounded by Klaw's cronies. When revealed, discard cards from the encounter deck until a minion is discarded. Put that minion into play, engaged with the first player, advance to stage 2B. Okay, so as in the beginning, we discard cards until a minion is discarded. Another armored guard here. Could have been worse. So it has the guard ability, remember? So we have to attack this one before Klaw. And it also comes in with one of these tough status cards. And then we advance this to 2B. And it says, Klaw is meeting with the Crimson Cowl. Klaw and the mysterious figure dart into the shadows when you confront them. And Klaw's minions move to cover their escape. It says, if this stage is completed, the player loses the game. So, if we get a total of 8 threat here, we will instantly lose the game. This one comes in with 0 threat. And that is the conclusion of Klaw's turn. Klaw's villain phase. Okay, let's start our turn by using the Avengers Mansion to see all the possibilities we can have here. So we draw another webbed up. I will use my scientist ability to pay for Aunt May. And Aunt May have she's a support card. She has an alter ego action. This action I can only do in alter ego form. Like this action on Avengers Mansion just says action. And we don't have an hero action. Yes, here we have an hero action. Like this swinging web kick is an hero action and it's an attack. So I can only do swinging web kick while I am Spider-Man. So we used Scientist to pay for Aunt May. And we can exhaust Aunt May to heal 4 damage from Peter Parker. And yeah, let's do that while we are in alter ego form. We have a maximum health of 10, so we can only go to 10. There is ways to increase our maximum health, but we have no cards that do that now. I will then exhaust these 2. I'll pay for Daredevil. This one gets removed. So that's 2, 3, 4 total resources. Daredevil enters play. He has a Thwart value of 2, attack value of 2, and health of 3. And a response after Daredevil thwarts, deal 1 damage to an enemy. This one, I forgot to remove this one earlier. We will flip to hero form here. I think we will use Mockingbird to remove this tough card, doing 1 damage to Armored Guard, and also get 1 last consequential damage on Mockingbird. So Mockingbird is out of action. And then we will use Daredevil to deal 2 damage there. And we will use Spider-Man to finish the Armored Guard off. Now, if we would have had any threat here, we could have triggered Interrogation Room, but we don't have any threat, so that's enough. And now, I think I will do a swinging web kick into Klaw here by paying 3 resources. And the swinging web kick is an event. I don't know if we have played any events before. They are one-time use. They just happen once and then you discard it. So it's a hero action. We need to be Spider-Man. It's an attack. Deal 8 damage to an enemy. So we deal 8 damage and Klaw goes down to 4 health. Then we discard this card. Now we don't have any more of our... any more to do, so let's draw up to a hand size of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then we remove all the exhausted icons. And then it is Klaw's turn. He will start by placing threat on the main scheme. He activates against us. He wants to attack because we're in hero form. But remember, we have webbed him up. So he will, it says, when attached enemy would attack, discard webbed up instead. Then stun the enemy. So we discard this and then stun him. So the next attack as well will be ignored for him. So that was Klaw's activation. Then we reveal 1. We deal encounter cards and then we reveal encounter cards. It's Klaw's Vengeance. When revealed alter ego, we're not in alter ego. When revealed hero, Klaw attacks you. If this attack deals damage, place 1 threat on the main scheme. So he will activate against us, and instead he would remove this stun. Remember, stun says the next time this character would attack, discard the status card instead. And maybe you're wondering, wouldn't we get card from the Spider Sense ability? He never actually initiated the attack in these cases, so we won't get any cards from Spider Sense. And the same goes for the Sonic Converter. He didn't attack, so he wouldn't stun us. And the Sonic Converter also says you have to damage us. I think I forgot to put one of these consequential damages on Daredevil when attacking the Armored Guard here. Yes, I did. And that is Klaw's villain turn over. So we go into our turn here. As Avengers Mansion is really good to start with. Draw a card. Okay, let's finish Klaw's first stage off here. So we start by attacking with Daredevil on Klaw. His response is after Daredevil thwarts, deal 1 damage, but I think we'll attack anyways here. We'll go down to 2 damage, 2 health. We'll attack with Spider-Man as well. So he's down to 0 health here. And what do you do now? We remove Klaw number stage 1 and we bring in Klaw stage 2, and he will have all of the attachment, and if we had a tough or stunned status card, it would also remain on the villain here. And you reveal this card, so you have to resolve the when revealed text. And it says, search, when revealed, search the encounter deck and discard pile for the Immortal Klaw and reveal it. Shuffle the encounter deck. So we start by looking here for the Immortal Klaw. Defender's Network. Oh, it's here. So we put the Immortal Klaw into deck. Then we don't have to check the encounter deck. If it was not here, we had to check this, take it out, and reshuffle the deck. So the Immortal Klaw says, Klaw gets plus 10 hit points. When this scheme is defeated, Klaw loses these hit points. So Klaw has an max health hit points of 18 plus 10 here that we only can remove by defeating 28, or we can remove by getting rid of this side scheme. So it comes in with 3 threat, and it also has this acceleration icon here, and it's the same as this one. You don't put an acceleration icon on the main scheme, you just remember that every time in the first step of the villain phase, when we have to place threat, we need to place 1 plus 1 extra, so we need to place 2 threat in that stage. Okay, so Klaw has 28 health now. I think I want to play Nick Fury here for, let's see, 4. So we will exhaust this one. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 4 resources. And Nick Fury says, forced response. After Nick Fury enters play, choose 1. Remove 2 threats from a scheme. Draw 3 cards or deal 4 damage to an enemy. At the end of the round, if Nick Fury is still in play, discard him. And the end of the round, remember, that is the end of the villain phase. First is the player phase, villain phase, and that's the end of the round. And I have to choose here between dealing 2 threats, draw 3 cards, or deal 4 damage to an enemy. I think I will draw 3 cards. So 1, 2, 3 cards. Whoa, now we have 2 swinging web kicks here. I will actually use this event for justice. It is an hero action. It says Thwart. Remove 3 threat from a scheme. 4 threat instead if you paid for this card using a mental resource. Now I'll pay for with using physical resource, so I will only remove 3 threat from a scheme. And I will choose to remove this Immortal Klaw. So we resolve this. This one gets discarded, and the Immortal Klaw gave him 10 life that we will remove. Now we have a little awkward hand. I don't want to play this tenacity. I want to save these ones. I'll use Nick Fury to attack Klaw. He goes down to 16 health. And I will end my turn there. I don't want to flip here because I want to use Nick Fury to block before he gets discarded anyway at the end of the turn. So I will discard this tenacity card. Remember, you can always discard cards before drawing. Now I will draw up to 5. I want to stay in hero form here. Yes. 1, 2, 3. So now we have 5 cards. And whenever the deck empties like this, we need to take 1 encounter card. And this will be revealed at the end of the villain phase in the reveal encounter card steps. And then we shuffle our discard pile into a new deck. If you like videos like this, please consider subscribing to the channel. Then we remove the exhaust tokens. And go into Klaw's turn. He will take 1 threat in the place threat step. He will activate against us. So now he will take 2 boost cards instead of 1, because that is his forced interrupt action. He will attack. We will block with Nick Fury. And in the declare blockers phase, he still attacks us. So we will trigger our Spider Sense ability here, drawing 1 card. And then we see what the boost card says. Wow. He does 1, 2, plus 4. 6 total damage to Nick Fury. And Nick Fury dies. Remember, if he would have survived or he would have attacked us, we would have put a stun on that character. A character is allies, villains, and heroes, and alter egos, but yeah. So Nick Fury gets 6 damage and is removed from game. And now we go into the deal encounter cards. So we still deal 1, but remember we have this one as well to resolve. So let's start in the reveal encounter cards. We reveal them. We have Radioactive Man coming into the battle here. He has 7 health, 1 scheme, 1 attack. And it says forced response for his attack. After Radioactive Man attacks, you discard 1 card at random from your hand. Ooh, that's not good. And the next one is advance again. When revealed, the villain schemes. So he will scheme here. Now we can actually lose. No, not really. I think the highest boost value is 3 in this encounter. I think maybe there's 4 in other encounters. I don't remember. So 2 plus 2. He gets 4 total threat here, going up to 6 threat. Remember, if it reaches 8, we just lose the game. And that is the end of Klaw's villain phase. Think we will draw 1 card here. And now we can just finish off Klaw by doing swinging web kicks twice. He's at 16 health. These do 8 damage each. So I'll start with this. Remember, this Radioactive Man doesn't have a guard, so we can just skip attacking him, going directly to Klaw. So I pay this first one by 3 here, dealing 8 damage to Klaw. And the second one by discarding these 3 as resources. And he's down to 0 health. And there you have it. That was a full solo playthrough of Marvel Champions. And this is on standard mode. And I choose standard mode because it's easier to explain the game. There is a lot of ways to do this game, make this game much harder. I usually play in expert mode. Then you start with this stage 2 card, so he has a lot more health and a lot more attack. And then you go to the stage 3 card when he has even more attack and scheme, and also comes with a toughness card. There are some important things that I want to explain as well. This card, Shadow of the Past, if that card is revealed, this is how the Spider-Man's Nemesis gets into play. And then this one would, the Minion would be engaged with us. There's also always a Minion side scheme, and these 3 cards would be shuffled into the encounter deck. So that is one thing to remember about Shadow of the Past. It's a really tough card to get. There's also another icon. Let's see if we can find one. I think it's called the Hazard. Yeah, there. Hazardous or Hazard. This one +1 card means in the villain phase, when we deal encounter cards in the end, we deal 1 extra encounter card. Okay, I want to shortly explain deck building. You must choose exactly 1 identity card, and the deck size you build is between 40 and 50 cards. And this card doesn't count to that limit. You need to use all 15 of Spider-Man's identity-specific cards. You've seen all these cards with the Spider-Man symbol down in the right corner. Those need to be in the deck. Then you choose an aspect. I've chosen this yellow aspect, which is justice. But there's also other aspects. We have aggression, which is red, and we have leadership, which is blue, and then we have protection, which is green. There's also Deadpool have his own special aspect, but these are the 4 main ones. So you can fill the remainder of your deck with aspect cards and also these gray basic cards. They can be in every deck. You may include up to 3 copies of any non-unique card by title. So we can only have 1. If you have unique cards, like where's I think it's here, Nick Fury, you can only have 1 Nick Fury in your deck, because he is unique, as you can see up there. Note that unique cards with the same title but different subtitles can coexist in the same deck. And also, there are some identity requirements. You must follow any specific deck building requirements printed on your chosen identity card. And that is everything I think you need to know to start playing your first game of Marvel Champions. There is a lot more to learn about this game, and the Learn to Play book is great, but there's a lot of different rules that you need to get a hang of. And I would suggest you go download the latest rules reference PDF. I think it's 1.7 right now. And you can find this over at Fantasy Flight Games homepage, and I will leave a link to that in the description. If you have any questions, or if I did any rules mistakes, as I certainly did, please leave them down in the comments. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great rest of your day. Goodbye.